Welcome back to Workshop Wednesday. We are talking today about measurement tech that you will most likely be using in 2024. Before we get too far into this, welcome. If this is your first workshop, my name is Chris Mercer. Everybody calls me Mercer. You should as well. I'm the lead instructor here at measurementmarketing.io. Maybe you found us through podcasts and talks or through some of the platforms we share some of our content with. Maybe you're already a member, whether a free Toolbox member, or maybe you're already an Academy member over at the Measurement Marketing Academy. However you found us, we're happy that you're here. It's our job to help you learn all this fun stuff, and we do that by doing one thing, just focusing on one new tool, in this case, that you might find useful. Take advantage of that, maybe research it a little bit, take action on this, as opposed to just getting overwhelmed with all the different things that are mentioned. All right, let's go ahead and get officially underway. Measurement tech that you will likely be using for 2024, or at least should be taking a look at. Let's go ahead and get started with this. We always start with the framework and how this fits in. Obviously, we're marketing in the blind. We want to get to the point where we reliably grow revenue and profits just using measurement as a system. How do we do that? Questions, gathering the information to get the answers and knowing what actions we're going to take. Then we go into the build. This is where your measurement tech comes in, because you're going to need different builds, different platforms to help you manage your results, to record what results you're trying to get, make sure that traffic is connected, and more importantly, connecting the traffic to those results so you see a natural story. Then all of that tech would flow into the launch, where you're listening to the trends and patterns, the conversation that's happening between the website and its users. You're measuring that against your forecast that you should have as far as how the marketing should be working. And then that's where you know how to optimize, because it'll see where you're hitting the mark and where you're not. That's the whole measurement marketing framework in a nutshell. Now, here's the basic process for measurement. We collect the information, we store the information somewhere, and then we build reports based on that information. So when it comes to the technical part of this for 2024, analytics is just a go-to. You're going to need to make sure that you have an analytics platform if you don't already. Google Analytics is just fine, otherwise known as GA4, but there's others. There's Pickwick, there's Matomo. So let's just show you a few of those. Google Analytics is obviously the one you're probably already familiar with, hopefully already using. Even if you're not using GA4 as your current platform, I would add it in there because it's growing by leaps and bounds, and they are going to make some major updates and changes as they continue to improve it. It's just going to get better and better and better. So if you've decided it's not for you after Universal Analytics and you're able to use it, I would really heavily look toward it because it's moving pretty quickly, and it's possible you get left behind if you're not using that. Now, that said, there might be some alternatives that you just have to use for whatever reason. Maybe your company doesn't use it, or you're just not comfortable with it, but Matomo's out there, so you have that. You've got Pro, that's out there as well. So if you want to use you have the free options as well as paid options available. So that's sort of the analytics platforms to take a look at. Make sure you have an analytics platform. You just don't have the choice anymore. You can't just use something simple like a Wicked Reports or a Hyros or anything like that. They're good. They only answer certain things though. They don't answer behavioral measurement. And that's why you need an analytics platform. So it stores all those different behaviors that are happening on your site, so you can truly analyze the marketing journeys that your users are going through to see if they're working the way you really need them to be able to work. Now, your platform by itself will do all three of these things. GA4, for example, will collect its information, store it in its database, and build reports. But it's not necessarily, I think, the best thing for collection. And that's why I just really think about these platforms for storage. I need them for their behavioral databases, and I want them to store all the behaviors. Then we move into a tag manager. And if you're not using something like Google Tag Manager now, I would suggest in 2024, you look to start to use it. Really understand your analytics platform, and then you add on a tag manager, whether Google or Pickwick, and there's all these different tag managers that are out there. Google has the free one. It's the one we obviously would suggest. That's just focused on collection. So it collects all these different behaviors. You can tell it, for example, when they see a certain part of the page, let's pretend it's reviews. You want to look at your testimonials and reviews. And I want to know when a user has watched one of my review testimonials for at least 10 seconds. That's something Tag Manager can do. It's built to help you to collect that behavior. And then it sends it on to a platform like Google Analytics 4 so it can be stored. So for eventual reporting. That's sort of how that works. But Tag Manager is built for those sort of nuanced behaviors that you should probably be asking questions around, because these are behaviors that the website's supposed to get from its users. How would you know if it's getting those behaviors or not? You have to measure for them. And in order to measure it, you got to collect it. And that's where a Tag Manager comes in. So again, if you're not using Tag Manager yet, or a Tag Manager in 2024, I would definitely think this is your first level up. First, analytics, make sure you have that. But then assuming you've got that, add on a Tag Manager. Next up, let's talk about data visualization, Looker, Tableau, things like that. There's lots of different platforms that do data visualization. They really handle the reporting side because let's face it, GA4, not the most exciting platform to look at when it comes to reports. It's a bunch of data tables, requires a bunch of analysis and poking around, and it's kind of get crazy. I suggest you use something like Looker Studio. It's a free one from Google, but you can use anything you want to build your reports. So if you're using something like Looker Studio to build your reports, you can build reports that answer very specific questions and that they don't require a ton of analysis, which is the whole point of that. Marketers, as a species, do not like data. They know they need it, but they don't want to stare at a bunch of data tables. So it's our job as measurement marketers to make sure that we're providing reports that lead immediately to action as fast as possible. So when they get into the dashboard, they look at their report and they get back out within a minute and they're able to take the actions they need to take in order to improve the marketing results. You can do that with a platform like Looker Studio. So if you already have Google Analytics 4 and you've already leveled up with Tag Manager, that's when I would add this piece in and really improve how you're doing your reporting, specifically with a platform like Looker Studio, Tableau, or whatever you want to use. Next up, let's talk about this process. Again, we talked about this basic process of measurement, collect, store, and report, but there's a new one coming down, which is this: transformation. What this basically means is you've got all these different data sources. Let's face it, measurement is a department. It's not a project anymore, right? There's all these different data sources coming in. This thing is complex. There's a lot of things coming from a lot of different places. We have to take information from your CRM. We have to combine it with information from Facebook, and we combine that with information from GA4. You are transforming the data. That's sort of the general way to think about it. You're taking all these different data sources, you're adding them into one, and you transform it, you organize it so that you can use it as a data source for your reports. This is known as a data warehouse. And this is the term that if you have Google Analytics already comfortably set up, you've got Tag Manager, you've got Looker Studio, you probably are very quickly moving into data warehouse territory. That is where you see tools like BigQuery pop in. BigQuery itself, just to kind of show you what that looks like here. So BigQuery, big, gigantic, whole other platform on itself because you are now in Google Cloud land. So it's a whole other thing. It is not simple, and I definitely don't want to paint it that it is, but it is going to become increasingly necessary because you're going to have to organize your data properly from different sources so that you can build reports that lead to action faster. And a data warehouse allows you to do that because that's where you essentially, just like a regular warehouse, you store all your data there, but as it goes into the warehouse, it's organized so that you can go in there and grab the data back out of the warehouse for your reports, right? That's sort of what this is. And BigQuery automatically connects to GA4 for free. So that's why we suggest using that. But you can use any database you want. But again, data warehouses are going to be really important, especially for the video that I'm positive I will create in 2025 when I say, hey, you're going to need to start connecting AI to your data warehouses. Because if that data warehouse is not properly organized, the AI is not going to have a chance at really analyzing anything useful. So the better, it's kind of like garbage in, garbage out. Data warehousing will be really important in 2024 for many of you if you already have the basics down. Do not try to do this until you've got the basics down. But if you got the basics, GA, Tag Manager, Looker Studio, things like that, now start really focusing on your data warehouse. Now, there are some tools that will help you to get things into BigQuery. I'm going to mention a couple of them. Data transformation tools. Analytics Canvas is a great one. Fivetran is a great one. Mixed Analytics is another one that kind of pulls everything into a spreadsheet so that you can see that, just to kind of show you what those look like. So here's Analytics Canvas. We use this constantly. We just bought the agency plan. It is awesome. The people behind this platform are absolutely phenomenal. Their support is beyond. It's just amazing. Love it, love it, love it. So Analytics Canvas is just a go-to for us. Everything comes in. We transform all the data. We put it into a BigQuery data warehouse. And at that point, that's what's connected to our reports. And it's worked incredibly well. So highly recommend that. Another one you can take a look at if it makes sense for you is Fivetran. So the same thing, it's sort of pulling all the information into one different database, so you can use that as a data source. I also mentioned Mixed Analytics. Let me just show you that very quickly. So Mixed Analytics is a little simpler of a tool, but super cool. And that one is right here. So Mixed Analytics, this pulls into Google Sheets. And honestly, if you're just not quite ready for BigQuery and databasing and kind of learning all those skills in your measurement department, start here because you're probably familiar with spreadsheets and comfortable with that. So you can pull all the data into a spreadsheet, sort it and transform it all there, and then you can connect that into a Looker Studio report as a data source. So there's other options that you've got available to you. Remember, it's all about the level where you are currently to where you need to get to. Don't try to do this all at once. It's too overwhelming. But data transformation is going to be huge. Data warehouse is going to be huge in 2024, especially because of AI. And I think the AI stuff really will start to come in the 2025. I think AI is going to start to go into data in 2024 in a big way. I mean, it's kind of doing it in 2023, but not really. I think you're going to hear more about it, obviously, in 2024, because you're going to hear more about AI everything in 2024. However, I think what's going to happen is the AI is going to go into the data warehouses that are existing, and it's going to get kicked in the teeth because they're going to realize, wow, we didn't actually organize our data properly for this. And then there's going to be a whole reset on what data warehousing needs to be organized so that AI can actually get through it properly. That's what will happen in 2024, my guess. 2025, then AI can really go through these nice cleaned up data warehouses that have been built. And now all of a sudden you get the power of AI. That's, again, total guess on my part, but it's kind of how I'm seeing it play out right now. All of this to say and to repeat, measurement is a department, not a project. If you think measurement is just, I'm going to set up some conversion events or key events in GA4, and I'm just going to create this one report that shows what my user journey is, and I'm done. It's such a mistake. It is an absolute mistake because measurement is not stagnant. If your reports are not answering your existing questions, and what I mean by that is really leading to the actions, right? Immediately leading to actions for the questions you're currently asking questions about. If it's not doing that, then you're not going to ask other questions. So that's where you realize, wow, I've screwed up measurement. If you're not able to take action quickly with your existing reports, you cannot ask further questions, more detailed questions, bigger questions around your customer journeys, more detailed questions around your customer journeys, because you can't even get the basic answers. So you get the basic answers in place first, and then your measurement evolves. Your reports should always be evolving with more nuanced information as they go through, because measurement is a department. It's not just a project. It needs consistent resources. So in your organization, question how you treated measurement in 2023. If it was just a thing that you sort of had to do that one time, that's a mistake. It just is. It's not like it used to be. Measurement is so complicated. There are so many different platforms. There are so many different tech tools that are out there. There are thousands of these things, and there will be thousands more that come out in 2024. This is just what's going to happen. This is a complicated process. It requires resources. However, measurement is a turbocharger for your marketing. So when you snap it onto your existing marketing engine, you're going to get more from your marketing with proper measurement. But this is the mindset to follow. Measurement's a department. It is not a project, which means it requires resources. All right, so just quickly covering basic tech stack thing you're going to need to focus on for 2024. Analytics, first and foremost. If you're just using simple tools like Hyros or Wicked Reports or something like that, some push button simple thing that answers certain questions, like that's great to start with, but that is not the game. That's just looking, that you're on the bench on the sidelines looking at the players. You got to get an analytics platform that measures behaviors, because behavioral marketing is the key. You have to understand the behaviors that you want your website to get, and you need to know if the website is getting those behaviors from the users. If it is, great, go get more traffic. If it's not, great, adjust the website so it starts getting those behaviors that you want. That's the analytics platform. If you have that, add in a tag manager platform so that you can start asking those more detailed questions, and you can collect the behaviors, the more nuanced behaviors that you need to collect to get those answers. Eventually, you will, of course, have transformation, where you're eventually putting in tools like Analytics Canvas, Mixed Analytics, Fivetran, or whatever else to be able to transform the data, and you're building data warehouses. That's the transformation section. Now, if you are not yet using Looker Studio, don't worry about transformation yet. Get Looker Studio involved, get the basics up and running, and then you will evolve your measurement system into adding that transformation step. But again, if you're already using Looker Studio with everything, then transformation might be your 2024 thing. Focus on the data warehouse. Ideally, I would suggest BigQuery, just because it connects with everything Google, and that's free to everybody. So it's low-hanging fruit options, but there are other options available as well. that might fit for you. Of course, we talked about visualization with Looker Studio. It's the final step no matter what. But that transformation might be a piece that you add for 2024. So analytics, tag manager, the data warehouse, which is the transformation step, right? That's why I took that out. Data warehouse is the key here. And then finally, visualization. All right. With that, what's your one thing? Hopefully you got a few, a different way to think about it, maybe kind of where you currently are and where your next step is. Don't try to take on too much. Don't try to do this all at the same time. It is impossible. It's just going to frustrate you. You're just going to get overwhelmed with everything. These platforms, each of these platforms is its own separate component with a lot of learning and practice and skills that are associated to those. That's why measurement's a department, because it should constantly be evolving. And if you're not evolving your tech, you're falling behind. If you're not evolving your skills, you're falling behind. If you're not evolving the questions that you're asking, you are falling behind because you're not evolving the actions that you are able to take to consistently improve your results. And if you're not going to do it, your competition certainly will. So take advantage of what's in front of you. All right. With that, if you like this video, want to see more, just go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd love to see you back there. And remember, how this fits into the framework is mostly these two stages here. So yes, you can ask more detailed questions using a tag manager system. So that's kind of the one part. You can get more nuanced, more detailed plans. But really it's here. The build is where the tech comes in, and then launching it when you're actually using your measurement is when the reporting and visualization stuff. So the data transformation, all that fun stuff is in the build, and your launch is your visualization as you go through. All right. With that, we'll go ahead and bring this to a close. Remember, we do have the currently, we still have the free Academy toolbox with all the different tools that are back there. You can get started with those. Also comes with a measurement marketing framework strategy course, which is a solid course. It's about 3.5 hours. It will be very detailed on measurement strategy. So we give that away, at least currently, because I think that's one of the most valuable courses we have. And I like giving that out and helping you sort of understand how measurement can help you to improve how you're using the tools that you currently have access to. That course will do that. It is all completely free. And if the time is ready, time is right for you, especially for 2024, you want to level up these skills, guess where you can learn it all? The Measurement Marketing Academy has all the courses that you'll need on Google Analytics 4, for Tag Manager, for Looker Studio, for BigQuery, for Analytics Canvas. I mean, all these, we're creating so many courses and workshops that are back there. It is a just-in-time learning platform. It's got everything you need. So when the time is right for your own journey through measurement or through your team's journey through measurement, the Academy has what they will need to get everything in place. So with that, we encourage you to go take a look at measure.tips/Get Academy to learn more about the Measurement Marketing Academy, now including lifetime access to all courses and updates, as well as community support. So you also have that back there as well. Lifetime access to all of that. It's a big change that we've made in that platform. Take advantage of it while it is there. Measure.tips/Get Academy to learn more. And with that, we'll go ahead and bring this to a close. Thanks for watching Measurement Tech you will likely be using for 2024. We will see you on the next workshop. Take care.